football fans, and welcome to The Onside Kick. My name is Ricky Widmer, and as always, it seems like now as always, I'm joined by just Dave Oster.
Hey, guys.
Mark Weber, Dave. Second week off. I guess that paternity leave, he needed an extra week.
Yep, things get rough for Mark, but you know what? He's going to take care of that baby.
He's going to take care of that baby really well. We miss him. I miss him at least, Dave. I don't know about you.
Are you saying I'm not enough for you?
No, you're not enough. Ooh, that hurts. Today we're going to be talking preseason. Last week we were like, you know, football's finally back. Now we got to actually watch it.
Yeah, I'd say more than one game, finally.
Well, and the one game that I focused on besides the Saints-Rams game was I was watching some of this Jacksonville-Tampa Bay game, and part of me feels like Blake Bortles could be the starter week one.
I kind of want to agree with you. I know they came out and said that Chad Henne will be their starter. But on the other hand...
7 of 11, 117 yards, only got sacked once.
If Blake Bortles is the better quarterback, why wouldn't you start him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you really just... Are you going to stick to it? Be like, well, we said it, so that's what it's going to be? I don't think so. I think if he comes out these next two preseason games and really creates a level of separation between the two of them, I think you have to go with him. You can't put him off to the side. He's your future now. You
know what I kind of think it is? And if they... Let's say... Blake Bortles does come out in the next 3 preseason games. Well, 2, because that last game, I don't think Blake Bortles is even going to play.
He could.
If he comes out and it's like, okay, we know he should be the starter, and they do start Chad Henne, it would be exactly like what they did with Blaine Gabbert, because to me, Blaine Gabbert shouldn't have been the starter last year.
I don't know. I think Blaine Gabbert was okay to start last year. What did you have negative feelings about him being the starter?
Well, it's just after his rookie season, it was like you could tell. It was kind of like Rex Grossman when he was with Chicago. Rex Grossman, after the first series, you knew, is it going to be a good day or a bad day? After Blaine Gabbert's entire first rookie season, you knew, okay, is he going to work out in Jacksonville or is he not?
You think his confidence was just shaken down so hard?
And, I mean, Blake Bortles is coming in with, especially, I know me and you have joked about hard reactions after one preseason game.
Yeah, you gotta go overreactions one preseason game.
But his confidence in just his first preseason game, pretty good.
I would say the first throw he made, everything looked pretty beautiful. Big throw over the middle. ESPN loves showing the clip over and over.
I would say the 2 best quarterback performances that we saw week one on a confidence, comfortability has got to be Blake Bortles and Jay Cutler.
Ooh, really? You're going Jay Cutler?
I watched Jay on, I don't know, I didn't watch it right from the beginning. I came in on the series that ended with the Zach Miller back shoulder touchdown.
Yeah, fantastic.
That entire drive, it just seemed like there was a confidence, a comfortability. I was like, okay, this is a guy that could start 16 games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going to what I said. As
long as he doesn't get injured,
podcast.
he would start all 16 games. But he would. The Bears' offense did move the ball pretty well under Jay.
Well, and I mean, like they were saying, second year in an offense, and for Blake Bortles, coming straight from college and having that confidence already, compared to, and I'm going to say his other main 2 rookie comparisons, Johnny Manziel, 7 of 11, 63 yards in the passing department, did run for 27 yards on 6 carries. And then Teddy Bridgewater, 6 of 13, only 49 yards, sacked twice, fumbled once.
Yeah, Bridgewater looked a little shaky out there. I think the obviously replay that we see the most is the fumble.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like he just wasn't comfortable in the pocket, didn't react well to the pressure. Again, this is week 1 overreaction time. So, clearly he has shown he is not ready to start.
Well, and to me, Teddy Bridgewater, and me being the Vikings fan in the room, he doesn't have to start.
No, you're okay with Castle for the year?
I'm okay with Castle starting this year under the expectation of you're not our future. Teddy's our future. And as long as he can it's kind of like Aaron Rodgers, except you're not sitting behind Brett Favre.
Oh.
You're sitting behind a guy who got to play really good when Tom Brady got injured.
Okay. I kind of understand. I don't know what to expect out of Teddy Bridgewater because obviously we only saw a small fraction of him. Didn't look so hot.
And his confidence was already shaken pre-draft with the, do I wear gloves? Do I not wear gloves?
Thank God he had the gloves on, but he fumbled with the glove.
Do I put one glove on, keep one off? Do I cut the fingertips off? What do I do? What do I do?
Fingertipless gloves. Yeah, he would. He would.
But I mean, even I know that we said Manziel, Bridgewater, the main two comparisons in the rookie quarterback. Derek Carr was also in the game against the Vikings, the very bad 10-6 game. I'm going to say these scores are terrible, Dave.
It was not a fun game to watch if you're a football fan. I mean, and yes, it was football, but Jesus Christ, that game sucked.
But Derek Carr on his stat line, 10 of 16, 74 yards, 1 INT. Besides the INT, I mean, I see 10 of 16 and I'm like, that's good. That is good for me.
It's a good start. I mean, it was better than Schaub. Schaub looked terrible.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, and just look at Fitzpatrick, where Schaub came from, where he had 2 interceptions thrown against a dominant, I'm going to say dominant, Arizona defense.
Well, yeah, Arizona's defense is fantastic, but I think it's just the fact that, you know what? Everybody was hoping Schaub would make a recovery to a better form from previous years, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to really get a chance to see Derek Carr this year. I'm excited mostly for the fact that Schaub won't be there the entire year. I don't like him. I thought he was washed up and done last year. Some quarterbacks can have that confidence return after, a environment change.
But when you go to Oakland, I mean, look at what happened to Randy Moss when he went to Oakland.
Exactly. You're just done. I'm sorry. I think he's done. I think we're going to see a lot
When Jerry
of Carr this
Rice
year.
went to Oakland.
Hey.
When Jones-Drew goes to Oakland, that's going to happen this season.
Ugh. But, no, I think we're going to see a lot of Carr this year. You know who had an impressive showing?
Who?
That's not on people's radar.
Give me a name.
Your favorite boy, Garoppolo.
When they said he was coming into that game,
excited.
I was excited. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're from Illinois, and it's just you get that hometown kid, and he's playing in the NFL. When they were like Brady's not going to play, I'm like Garoppolo's going to play. That means Mel's going to start. Garoppolo's going to get more snaps than he would if Brady was playing, and I was excited.
Well, let's be honest, Mel did not look good.
No.
The one upside though is the fact that he whips the ball as physically hard as possible, regardless of the distance the receiver's at. Kind of hilarious. Makes it a little rough on his wide receivers, it would seem. But Garoppolo, on the other hand, looked fantastic. He pretty much set himself up as the Tom Brady replacement.
The successor.
He is the successor, I believe. Not only in quarterback skill, but in beautifulnulness.
Well, will he get a girlfriend as hot as Giselle?
I think he
wife
could.
As hot as
Did you see the picture of Brady and Garoppolo? I think it was like Amendola all saying it was like three supermodels.
Yep.
I questioned myself for a minute there.
Well, and I mean, you know who's one guy, and this is going back to, we started off with Bortles in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
You know who's one guy in Jacksonville that after watching the preseason game against Tampa Bay, who I feel so sorry for?
Yep.
Ricky Stanzi.
Well, I mean, I don't feel bad for him. No, he's getting a chance.
He gets a chance to basically try out for another team because he goes 4 of 4 in attempts, 23 yards, looked great. And Jacksonville's like, oh, well, we're only going to keep 2 quarterbacks. And you know that's Chad Henne and Blake Bortles. There's no way
he looks great against like third stringers and people who will be cut. So in actuality.
And that's the other side of it. But he still looked good. And to me, I don't know. What do you think of a team that says we're keeping 2 quarterbacks? We're not going
in
3,
this day
we're going
and age,
2.
I think it's a bold choice. A lot of teams are doing that to get that extra roster slot for different positions here and there. But
maybe a special teamer.
I don't know about
a defensive specialist.
I would say somebody who can double up, as a special teamer cover over person, possibly these days. But with all the injuries that we've seen quarterbacks endure, I don't know if it's smart to only keep 2. If he doesn't make that roster, would I keep him as a practice squad quarterback? Absolutely.
Well, and this is the thing. The reason
you need to have the option to bring him up.
Yep. This is why I lean towards it's a bold move, and it's, to me, I'd be caution. I have caution of it is now this day and age, we're in a throw first. We're in a passing league. So defenses now, let's look at Denver. They get a guy like DeMarcus Ware, who basically all he's going to have to do in that defense, get into his stance, his I'm going to run a lap stance, and then just pin his ears back, go right for the quarterback. That's what teams are looking to do. Guys that can come around the edge, pin their ears back, Jadeveon Clowney, I'm going to get the quarterback.
No, and that is... I have no problem with that idea to have a specialist just for that job because the impact it makes, we saw in the Super Bowl last year, just pressure on the quarterback can break down even the top quarterbacks in the league.
Julius Peppers has been known to do that in his career.
He's Jared Allen,
the guy who's going to be in Chicago this year.
Yep. But the upside is Jared Allen can also defend the run.
Yep.
He's probably the top of the game when it comes to defensive pass rushing weapons. But the thing to consider is, I mean, when you're giving up a roster slot for that, you have to really make an effort for like almost, I don't want to say make a pack of plays just for them, but you have to utilize them as much as possible. So you're going to set them up with the best possible case to succeed in those situations because they're going to be only so few. I mean, they'll probably only see one down per series top. So you have to really get the upside out of that.
Okay, I'm going to throw you I'm going to call it a trick question because I think I'm throwing you a curveball here.
Okay.
I was watching some of the Redskin Patriot game, and they were talking about this Redskin backfield. And you know that Alfred Morris is going to be the starter. Last year, the main three were Morris, Halou, and Royster. They get two rookies this past offseason, Silas Red and Leche C-Shrunk. Yep, I was stumbling over his first name, Leche. And what do you think of these two guys? I mean, because can they beat out Halou and maybe Royster? Because Silas Red was a guy that he transfers to USC and then didn't do so well.
Yeah, he didn't have a hot year. USC has this whole thing where running backs maybe look good there and then come out and do so hot.
And that was he was Lane Kiffin, right? Was still the coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for part of the year.
Yes. Until he got fired.
Yeah. The whole question here is, though, for me, I like C-Strong better. I had talked about him a bunch going into college year last year.
He basically Greg Jennings it and scored a touchdown with a broken leg.
Yeah, so obviously he needs to be on the injury watch, but I think his upside is phenomenal. I definitely don't think Silas Red is going to pan out, though. I have absolutely no good feeling about that. He's just an average back in my mind. I don't think he has what it takes to take over that slot, to be like the fourth running back on the roster if they would keep four. I don't think he will.
Would you keep four if you were
no.
If you were them?
No.
Who would you keep? Give me the three. Obviously, Morris
C-Strong
and
would
Halou.
get in. I think Royster would balance out for him.
So you'd have Morris, Halou, C-Strong.
Yep.
What about since we're talking running backs, what about the 49ers? And I mean the one thing, and I'm going to ask you this: am I overhyping him? Where maybe it was just the pace of game because both teams were running the ball a lot. I am very high on Carlos Hyde. I think that because of the injuries, Hunter's no longer on the team. You said that Lattimore's injured. You have LaMichael James is injured. He's going to be the backup to Frank Gore.
I think there's a reason you're so high on it, and it's not just you. It's just about everybody out there.
Is it because I'm a Big Ten guy and he's from the Big Ten?
I'd say he lived up to his own hype. He was the first running back picked for a reason. Absolutely. But the question here is, when people get healthy, is he still going to be that number two? I think he will. I think he proved in game one, solid performance. Even if Lattimore gets back, you got a guy with two bad knees. I wish the best for him because he was a monster in college. But, I mean, this is a 2-year experiment down the road now.
So he hurt his other knee.
No. It was his, sophomore year was one knee, junior year was the other knee.
Okay.
And then he's been recouping both of them for the last 2 years.
Okay.
I think right now I forget the specific injuries out with right now.
Well, that's like I was watching Hard Knocks this week because I caught it late, watched it on demand, and Steven Jackson, he hurt his other hamstring now.
Yeah, well, it's okay because I've been calling him a bum with no legs anyway for the last year.
No legs, no knees, however you want to put it.
Yeah, no, he's washed up and done. He was absolutely used, grinded down to the bone in St. Louis. And I was just ridiculously confused by the pickup that the Falcons made with him. But you know what? He'll probably be done at the end of this year, regardless of whether he plays well or not. And
hey, the Falcons have two. Well, I'm going to say one in Freeman. I love Freeman being the Florida State rookie, but also Anton Smith is apparently people are high on him. I accidentally drafted him in a fantasy draft I just did because I confused him with Freeman.
Well, he does have some upside, although it doesn't show on paper. That was the funny thing.
If there's no penalties, that is. If there's no penalty on the play.
Yeah, he had a breakout run that was pulled back to a Matthews holding call. And then he had another pass he caught for I think 26 or 36 yards. But pulled back again due to another penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a formation one, but he's got some explosiveness in him. I think the Falcons will be absolutely happy to take advantage of that. He's somebody who you can put in there for specific plays. He reminds me a little bit of Sproles with the speed he has, but he's just a big play guy. So they're playing inside on turf, very fast field conditions. He's somebody they can take advantage of.
You know who's another running back that I actually saw the replay before we came to the podcast today, and I'm looking at his stats from it's their second preseason game because this is a team that gets 5 preseason games because of the Hall of Fame game.
Yep.
David Wilson goes down for the Giants, right?
Yeah, he went down in practice to the neck burner, but everybody's like, you need to be done.
Let me ask you this question. Is this a overhype situation? Rashad Jennings, 5 carries, 85 yards, touchdown, had the 73-yard touchdown run.
I say, well, that 173-yard touchdown run really makes his stats look a little better than they are.
And I'm thinking this from a fantasy point. Is he going to be the starting running back? Is he going to be able to put up big yards, or are we overhyping him? Am I overhyping him?
I think you may be overhyping him a little bit. He had one fantastic run. His other runs were okay. I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the Giants' backfield right now. It's still a true toss-up. So,
well, that's if their quarterback play. Eli did not look good in the second preseason game. I know he only had 2 passes, but he didn't complete any of them, and he got sacked.
Yep. Gaskins was okay, but it's really a three-way competition for that second spot between Gaskins, Williams, and Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's going to take it. I have no lean right now. I want to see more. One breakout run is fantastic, but it's not results over a couple carries. It's like I got stuffed 3 yards, 3 plays in a row, and then had a big bust out.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Chris Johnson style running.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a huge fan of that.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, one of the games that I know that we were focusing on last night after we came back from dinner that we went to was the stomp down in Arizona.
Yeah, it's stomp down.
The Texans, you go out and you draft the best defensive player, arguably in the draft, and he did have a big play. We saw it like on NFL Network. It's like, oh, yay, you got to the running back. It was a nice play off the line.
Yep.
But I know it's preseason. I know it's game 1.
Yep.
But I feel like when you have a new head coach, new quarterback, you have a highly stouted defensive guy, you've got to put up at least a touchdown, right?
No, because you get exactly what you pay for with Fitzpatrick.
2 interceptions?
You get a washed-up quarterback who couldn't make it in the league. And that's why I think it's hilarious looking at quarterback stats from this game. So Fitzpatrick, 6 for 14, 2 picks like you alluded to.
You going to say Carson Palmer stats?
What he
did on
Palmer was
what he did on the other side of the ball?
5 for 5, 84 yards and a touchdown.
A quarterback rating of 158.3. I know
happens to be the max.
We're putting a disclaimer here. First week of preseason,
but it's time for preseason overreactions yet again.
Hashtag.
But not only that.
Hashtag preseason overreactions. Are we hitting Twitter, Dave?
Could be, but
I know Mark's the Twitterer. You're not really hip with the tweet speak.
I'm not out there on any of that stuff. But not only that, this is the Texans' defense, who they invest in heavily. Let's go to the Arizona's backup quarterbacks. Thomas goes 11 for 12 and 113 yards and a touchdown.
Stanton even had 11 completions.
11 for 17, 152 yards and a touchdown.
And you know what's more important than that, I think? If you look at the average yards on completion, Palmer had about 16.8.
Yeah, he had huge.
Which is great.
Yep.
And then the other two, Logan had just over about 9.5, and then Stanton's right at 9 yards per completion. So that's a first down per. It's like I'm completing a pass, first down.
Nearly, yeah, and that sets them up in great position. And they did take 3 sacks on the day total. So Arizona let some pressure in from that.
And Drew Stanton
front
was
line.
clean. But to be honest, Drew Stanton probably wasn't going up against Clowney.
Yeah, I guarantee he wasn't. But again, so you're paying up for this defense. They get you 3 sacks in this game, but they let up 32 points. I mean, I'm sorry. When you make that investment into a defense to the level they did via the draft and via the offseason, and they're just going to accept having Fitzpatrick as their quarterback, that seems like a total waste out right now. Like that proves this wasn't worth it. Like you need to. Tom Savage, is he your answer? I don't know.
Well, not just that.
Is Case Keenum the answer? I don't know.
To go off more more in depth on that quarterback thing is I have a problem when you bring a guy like Fitzpatrick over
Okay.
and he throws 2 interceptions in his first preseason game.
Yeah. Really? What's the problem with that? I mean, he's just filling in right where Schaub left off.
You shouldn't have interceptions.
Why? Because he's a steely veteran?
Yes. And I know that's an ideal world, though. But I mean,
new system, new team, doesn't have a relationship built up with these wide receivers.
Or at least you have to be better than your guys behind you.
He did have a nice run. I mean, he did rush for 23 yards.
Nothing impressed me, though.
I agree, though. There's a reason he was let go.
Shania Twain to me, that don't impress me much.
You have to do more than that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you didn't think we were going to get a Shania Twain reference in this podcast, did you?
It happened, though.
What about this? And I'm going over to another game. We're just melting pot. We're mixing here.
Yep. It's like football with ADHD here.
Nick Foles threw an interception.
We broke Nick Foles.
The Bears broke him. He's gone.
Fantastic job. This Bears defense is now total 180 from last year. They were actually able to, and this was the pretty high scoring game, 34-28.
Hashtag preseason overreactions. That's what we're doing here.
Let's keep rolling. But 2 picks for Foles. He came out, the first one just looked terrible. The second one, okay, I understand that happening. But that's equal to his total last season for the entirety of the season. As far as the Bears go, I'm ridiculously happy. And that was without our big offseason acquisition to shore up that defensive line and your boy Jared Allen.
Yeah, Jared. I was surprised that he was on the sidelines in a T-shirt.
I'm not. He's 31 years old.
Is he taking the Brett Favre treatment?
He's got about the same attitude almost. they both got that great personality to him.
But I mean, with the Bears, Cutler, like I've already said, I'm gonna get off of that soapbox. He looked great.
Yep.
Fales didn't look that bad. Kadeem Carey with the running backs didn't look bad. I was actually surprised, and I'm gonna ask you, what did you think of Jordan Lynch in more of the running back role? 7 carries, 24 yards.
Mop up time. I'm not getting too excited yet, but I'm saying there's a chance.
Are the Bears going to use him as a running back? Is he going to make the 53-man?
I still think he's practice squad. I really do. I think he's a scout team quarterback.
Scout team mobile quarterback?
Absolutely.
Well, that's and that reminds me of going back to the Ravens game with the mobile quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
He just looked good, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, he's not playing against the first stringers.
Yep.
He was effective running out of the pocket. He was completing passes. I believe he had over 100 yards passing.
Yeah, he had a pretty good game.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, you're not playing against the first timers. Hashtag preseason overreactions.
Hey, how about Chris Williams going out there, the CFLer?
Yeah.
He had a huge breakaway catch. Arguably, though, we could have thrown it to. There were 2 wide receivers who broke free that play, but Williams honestly got it and just flew with the ball. 73-yard touchdown. But obviously the big story on our end is Zach Miller being the replacement for Bennett, who is out due to a coach's suspension.
He's back today. Well, I mean, he is back today. He resumed, we're recording this on Sunday, he resumed lifting with the team today, so he's basically reinstated.
Yeah, but
is he going to piss off Trestman again by saying, hey, rookie, I don't take that from you, throw you down?
There's a reason he's been on 3 teams. As productive as he is, he's not great in the locker room. He's not great about that whole teamwork thing. This gives us a big thumbs up to Zach Miller, because this is a guy who was successful in Seattle, went to Oakland, got a little lost, and he's came out to the Bears. I honestly forgot that we had picked him up in the offseason.
You were telling me that last night, yeah.
But you know what? He has something there. I'm extremely happy with the pickup. And it gives us the ability to go 2 tight end sets if we need to. Or, if Bennett falls out of line again, I'm confident that Zach Miller can step in. You saw that footwork in the back of the end zone.
And I don't know if it was a better catch by Zach Miller or a better throw by Jay Cutler. How Jay was just like, you know what? Back shoulder.
I mean, yeah, there's no way that anybody else could go up and make that. Defensively, could not get that ball.
Well, and it was a tricky situation because the linebacker is staying with the pass, and as a tight end, you just got to be able to change and go, okay, back shoulder. It's going to be right there.
Yeah.
And Cutler put it right where he had to. I'm going to jump to another game.
Okay.
We're going to have 2 topics from this game. Colts, Jets. The first one is obviously about the Jets, Jets.
Is there a quarterback controversy there? Who cares?
Not the controversy, just we saw both of them got Vic and Smith, got 6 passes each. Geno Smith, 4 of 6, 33 yards, 5.5 per completion. Michael Vick, 3 for 6, 17 yards, 2.8 yards per pass. Vic had 3 carries, 19 yards. Smith had 1 10-yard run.
Not wowing stats, either one of them. You know who does wow me, though?
Sims.
Sims had a fantastic game.
13 of 18, not going against the first stringers. Hashtag preseason overreactions.
But no, I don't think either one of these quarterbacks really came out and wowed me yet. I want to see more of Geno Smith. I thought there was some improvement from last year. His throwing mechanics were better.
Do you believe that the Jets are going to start Geno week 1?
I think they will.
Because
I still think they're going to stick with him.
The more and more that the commentators of these games, and for most of these, because I've been watching them on NFL Network and they just take the local feeds and re-air them.
Okay.
The local announcers are even like, well, they wanted to bring in Michael Vick and make him just compete with Geno, kind of light a fire under his butt, make sure he's not just sitting there. And I'm like, you know what? Michael Vick isn't going to sit there and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to be there to make sure, keep you in check, and I'm not going to start. No, he wants to start.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that if Mike Vick can prove to everybody that I know what I'm doing, I've been doing it longer than him, and I still got it.
I'm a better version than him.
I'm still very fast.
He's a poor man's Michael Vick.
Pretty much.
What about on the other side, Trent Richardson? Because I know Trent Richardson's a guy that you have had huge question marks about. He only had 5 carries, 13 yards, but did he look better than last season in those runs?
You know what? It's hard to say so far. He didn't do
He didn't
enough.
have a 73-yard touchdown like Rashad Jennings did.
I want more of a workload out of him before I trust him anymore. 5 carries, very small sample. But on the other hand, you know, he's still... I want him to be the number one back there. But you know what's funny? Bounce back one more time to this side. Like how I mentioned Chris Johnson runs, 4 carries for 2 yards. Like, that is Chris Johnson. I'm sorry. He's either going to break free and just jet everybody, or he's not going anywhere.
It's another thing. I forgot Chris Johnson was on that Jets team.
Yes, he is.
CJ Noke. CJ Noke.
He's going to be fighting for carries, I think. I just can't see it because he doesn't fit Jets football. Production-wise, it's just not there.
And I mean, in another game to jump to, which I was on, I think it was Thursday, either Friday or Thursday. No, it was Thursday night on NFL Network. Saints-Rams. Here are the 3 players that I took away from this game. None of them are named Michael Sam, just so you know.
Okay.
First one, Mark Ingram. 8 carries, 83 yards, had a touchdown. He looked good. Trey Mason, rookie out of Auburn for the Rams. 15 carries, got a nice workload, 51 yards. Yay only had about 3.4 yards per carry, but it still was good for a rookie first preseason game.
Correct.
And the third player, Brandon Cooks, Dave, you're high on him. He had 5 catches, 55 yards, and a TD. He was targeted 8 times, so could have had 8 catches, only had 5. He was 5 for 8 with catches.
A couple of them, two of those were not catchable balls, but in my mind. But no, Brandon Cooks, obviously everybody will love that pinpoint stop and breakaway for a touchdown. Like once he got the ball in his hands, by far and away the fastest player on the field. His start-stop was ridiculous, and he made that turn, and nobody was going to catch him. You just saw, he is ridiculous fast.
Now you know why I thought the Jets should have drafted him.
No, and yeah, he's got great hands. I think he is a perfect fit for this team that already stretches the field vertically. He's their guy underneath. He can go out, grab the ball, and keep going. He's a yak monster.
Yak monster.
Yup. I absolutely
Dave's
love watching...
Dave's not talking about the animal, folks. He's talking about yards after catch.
Thanks. I love watching New Orleans play. I think they have such a fun offense. Ingram's resurgence. He looked like he was wearing a Bama jersey again. Like,
fantasy-wise,
he dropped the shoulder into people. He bounced off of them. He kept going. This is what we've been waiting for years.
And here's another question I'm going to throw your way. To me, Ingram's the only guy I feel comfortable. Ingram, Graham, and Breeze are the only 3 guys I feel comfortable drafting fantasy-wise for the Saints because with the wide receiver core, I know Cooks is good, but Drew Brees likes to spread that wide receiver butter all over his bread.
He spreads it out so much. You know how like we were talking the Peyton Manning effect on wide receivers, how he had four wide outs for over 700.
He was the hipster Peyton Manning, doing it before it was cool.
Well, the thing is, Peyton Manning got like 4 guys over 700 yards. Drew Brees will get like 7 guys over like 400 yards. Like he spreads out far further, it would seem.
And that's what happens when you do break Dan Marino's records.
The whole thing there is, I hope Cooks becomes a new favorite target for him. But they just have so many possible weapons.
Well, especially in that Sean Payton offense.
Yeah.
That's got to help.
Say, absolutely will. The one cool thing, though, is, this is an offense that obviously they lose Sproles. So Cooks could be that swing pass option. I know he's not coming out of the backfield, but you set up some wide receiver screens out there. The quick snaps, throw it over to him to the side.
And plus, you could put him at, I feel like you can almost use him like a DeAnthony Thomas type player, where do you label him as a wide receiver or do you label him as an offensive weapon? Like, we're going to line him up. He's a wide receiver, but line him up in the backfield for a little swing pass.
I mean, you could do that if they really need to get him involved, but I don't know. They can line him up wherever they want. Let's be honest.
And I'm going to go back to Trey Mason because this just popped into my head.
All right.
Do you think, because I am not sure, whenever I've done 2 fantasy drafts so far to get myself ready for our league.
Yep.
And I'm not sure about Zach Stacy, if he's going to be the same guy that he was last year with the Rams. Do you either think he's going to be that guy? And can Trey Mason, if he's not, steal the role from him and be the guy in St. Louis?
Trey Mason has a huge upside, but Zach Stacy is exactly who the Rams need right now, and that's a reliable running back.
He's not Steven Jackson.
No, but he's pretty good. I think he's going to come back and have another pretty good year. Probably make that 1,000-yard mark this time around. Last year he fell just shy at 973. But no, I think they're going to end up splitting backs. Trey Mason will see some light of day, but this is Zach Stacy's job. He's not going to lose this year to Trey Mason, barring injury.
But DeAnthony Thomas, that's who I want to get to because we mentioned him. Didn't do much receiving, but to me, what he brings to the Chiefs, he showed against the Bengals. He had 1 kick return for 35 yards, 1 punt return, 80 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, he is an explosive player, given space. That's the only concern, is trying to find the best way to use him to his potential. Obviously, the return game is where it's at right now. As far as being a receiver, running back, whatever, offensive weapon, we'll have to wait and see. There's obviously going to be limited. I mean, come on, we've got so many players playing right now that I would say we're only going to see a small fraction of him leading up to the season. I think during the season, he may see 3 targets a game coming out of the backfield or off the side. But it's really going to be his place on special teams, and he can take over that and make that his thing. Am I calling him Hester? No.
No. I wasn't going to call him Hester. You were trying to read my mind. I was thinking about Devin Hester, and the one thing that part of me wishes is, you know how in like some sports we do the thing where, especially in basketball, we love to do what if LeBron James played with Jordan, or if played with Magic and Larry, played in different eras. This one's not a different era one, but how cool would it be the year Devin Hester was kind of doing a thing, returning kick returns, if we had DeAnthony Thomas on another team doing the same?
Well,
we had 2 guys doing it instead of just Hester.
There was a certain somebody in Cleveland who was able to do that. Mr. Cribbs. There's also someone in Arizona just recently.
No. I'm talking like same level, because part of me feels like if
Cribbs was right there with Hester.
Part of me feels like if DeAnthony Thomas, because the kickoff rules, they've changed so much that they kind of hurt kick returners now.
Absolutely.
If he was playing back when Devin Hester broke records and did the thing in the Super Bowl where he returned the opening kickoff,
he did what we all expected him to do.
Him and Devin Hester would have been touching butts. That's how close they would have been.
I don't know about that.
He's got that, like, he is, like, everyone that's come out of Oregon, Kenyon Barner, LaMichael James. It's like, oh, they're fast, but we never even hear anything about them in the NFL. DeAnthony Thomas, especially on special teams, could be that guy.
There's a very good chance he is going to be a special teams expert going forward. I don't know how well offensively he'll turn out, but he has that explosive spark. On the other side of the ball, though, for Cincinnati, they had my boy Sanzenbacher out there returning
I was going to
kicks.
say, are you going to say he even had 2 catches and a touchdown?
Yeah.
He went 2 for 2 with catches to targets.
I love Sanzenbacher. What can I say?
Sanzenbacher.
He's got a fantastic last name. Good effort, you know.
You never did get your
Sanzenbacher jersey.
Sanzenbacher.
I might get a Bengals one. Just
a Bungles jersey? A Cincinnati Bungles jersey?
Yeah, we'll see.
And I'm looking at the other games, and to me, there's not like Cowboys-Chargers. I'll be honest, I didn't really watch because it was like, whatever. The one game that I wish I did watch was the Broncos-Seahawks game.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because the one thing I want to see is, and I know that Marshawn Lynch has come back, he's with the team, but I want to see those other running backs, what they can do. And the one guy they were talking up while Lynch was holding out was Robert Turbin.
Yeah. He
didn't do great.
I was say, he did not do good.
No, he didn't do good at all. But Terrell Pryor did pretty good.
Yup.
Terrell Pryor, I mean, hey, he's
getting paid more.
He was a Raider, right? That's who he got kicked by the Raiders.
Yeah. This is and he didn't. Here's the thing: on the Raiders, he didn't look bad. He looked like with proper coaching and some time, he would be a pretty decent quarterback.
He was just questioned all year.
Yeah.
And another thing in this
his decision making had a little bit, but again, that's something that can be easily fixed with some coaching. I feel like Oakland didn't want to make a commitment to him.
They didn't want to. It feels like Derek Carr is going to be the guy they do this with, but they didn't want that guy where it's like, you know what, I'm not totally committed on you, so why am I going to mold you to be anything if I don't want to commit to you?
Meanwhile, Seattle gets another fantastic fit where they've got Russell Wilson as their star, Tavares Jackson, another Super Bowl winning quarterback on their team, and now Pryor. They've got 3 guys who are very mobile in the pocket. They can all make something happen with their legs should the play break down. And Pryor obviously is a little more run happy than anybody else, but you know what? I think it's a fantastic fit for them, and I kind of am excited to see if he can take out Tavares as the backup.
And you know what? Not that I wish I would have saw this game because I probably wouldn't have seen much of it, but for the actual season, I'm very excited about this Broncos defense. Because I did mention the DeMarcus Ware pickup and how he can just pin back and go. The thing that I heard watching NFL Network this week was McCoy, the head coach, wants the defense to be just as stellar as the offense.
That's asking a lot. That is asking a lot.
Like he's expecting the offense to stay where it was and then have the defense be just as spectacular defensively.
They've got the potential to do that, though. The big question is
Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah, DeMarcus Ware honestly is the biggest pickup. They're getting somebody who is a leader on a defense.
Steve Mariucci, and this is I think going a little bit #preseason overreactions, but he said that DeMarcus Ware. He didn't say could. He said will break the sack record this season.
Bold move. But the thing is, you can't double up 2 people on that defensive front. So obviously, somebody's going to get to that quarterback just about every play. There's so much pressure that they're able to apply. The big question, though, is can the secondary keep up with it? You know, that pressure up front gets better, which means secondary, they can really just weigh down those picks. They're going to have to cover for less time. They can expect the shorter throws. This is a team that, and the acquisition, I mean, they picked up Talib. So you've got to think they're really putting it all in to get this defensive up to a top 10 level as far as production.
And I'm looking at the Week 2 preseason games. Week 2 starts this Thursday.
Okay.
With Jacksonville, Chicago.
Can't wait.
And that's one of the games I'm excited for because here's some interesting games, and most of my 3 that I have all involve the rookie quarterbacks. Bortles going to face the Bears defense.
Yep.
You have Teddy Bridgewater could play some of the stout Arizona defense that stomped the Houston Texans.
That'll be a good showing.
That's a good test.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good test for Bridgewater. I'd put him in with the first stringers. Kind of like how it was, I want to say it was Michael Irving on NFL Network before the Browns-Lions game last night.
Yeah.
Where he said, you know what, screw it. Just take Justin Gilbert, put him on Calvin Johnson right from the get-go. Get him used to playing against top-tier talent.
That is really a way to initiate a rookie into the league by putting him in there against the number one wide receiver in the league.
Go ahead. Just go get it. Just be like, you know what? Go get him. It's preseason. If we lose, we lose.
Exactly. There's no harm, no foul on that.
Manziel, he's going up. Doesn't have the hardest test, but he's going up against the Redskins. How will we see a better Manziel, or will Hoyer be like, no, sit down, kid. This is my job.
Well, it depends if you ask ESPN or not. Because ESPN only knows how to show Hoyer's incomplete passes.
ESPN doesn't want to make LeBron angry. LeBron. I mean, you've seen them talk about the Kevin Love stuff. It's like they want, like, even.
I'm surprised ESPN hasn't opened up a show in Cleveland. Like, you know how they've got the one in Bristol? They've got the one in
Cleveland. It's hot in Cleveland.
Well, no.
They're setting up for it.
They've got a studio in Bristol. They got a studio in LA.
Host it. Betty White's going to host it.
Just open up another studio in Cleveland. Yes. You seem to be talking about them enough anyway.
Well, and not just that. This is a side note from football, but I think it needs to be said.
Okay.
You got me started with the Manziel thing, but Dan Le Batard orders a billboard in Cleveland that says,
"This is gold."
Like, you're welcome with the 2 rings, love Miami. And ESPN suspends Le Batard for 2 days because of that.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely garbage. Le Batard, it's an extremely funny move. It obviously garnered you a lot of attention.
His radio listeners loved it. He loved it. Well, obviously, I thought if I'm making a joke, I think it's the funniest joke ever. Is it a little low
class?
Oh,
yes.
It is. No, it is so funny.
Yeah.
But you know what? ESPN doesn't want to piss off LeBron. That's why they're gonna shove firecrackers up Johnny Manziel's rear end to make him look shiny enough.
They're gonna give him a starter job. Like, ESPN is going to get Johnny Manziel a starter job.
How did that pay off for Tim Tebow?
Pretty well. I hear his arm got better this offseason.
I hear his arm got really better. It's almost at where it was in college.
Wow. And that was horrifyingly bad.
He was a run machine in college. But yeah, he gets against the Redskins. Other games, we have
Broncos-Niners. Do you not love that? I love that.
Yeah, that'd be a great regular. I just want that to be a regular season game.
But come on, I want to see these 49er weapons used because I don't know who to go with in fantasy. I'm like, you've got Crabtree, you've got Bolden, you've got Stevie Johnson, you've got Vernon Davis. Who's going to get the majority? We saw the connection between Crabtree, so I'm hoping that he's still the number one guy.
And I mean, speaking about ESPN, you know what highlights you can expect to see next week? Well, next weekend, because this game goes on Friday. Packers-Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Because Michael Sam is going to have a few sacks against Aaron Rodgers or whoever the quarterback is at that time.
I'd say Michael Sam probably not playing with the first team, but
he's gonna have one tackle or half a tackle, and that's all you're gonna see on ESPN. Just that one tackle over and over, score for the game, go to the next game. Are there any other games this week that catch your eye?
Honestly, I want to continue to watch the Saints, so I'm going Saints-Titans.
What about Eagles-Patriots?
They're both good games. I'll give you this. though. You got Garoppolo versus Foles. Fantastic matchup. On one hand. On the other hand, the Saints-Titans game, I want to see if Locker's going to... This is his year to prove himself. Will he do it? I don't know. But I'm excited to watch both of these teams play.
Their backup did get punched in the face. Roll Tide. Could you... I don't know if I could be mad at someone for punching me in the face if they said something as stupid as Roll Tide when they did it.
Yeah, no, no. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Both of these games interest me. They're going to be both entertaining.
Is Cooks going to have another touchdown?
I hope so.
Could have 2 touchdowns?
Yep.
It is Tennessee.
Hey, Tennessee is not... They're in that middle of the group
But they're not the St... According to ESPN, they're not the St. Louis Rams. The unstoppable St. Louis Rams defense.
Well, that St. Louis Rams front is ridiculous. I could care less what you say about it. Tennessee, though, it'll be an interesting year for him. I've got him going probably like
Do we
6
see
wins,
Tony
5
Romo
wins.
this week at all?
I don't know. That one
Playing against the Ravens at home.
I'd like to see him at least one series. But again, how's his back doing? I've heard nothing but bad news about Romo. And that may be just media propagation, whatever. That happens. They always do that kind of a thing. But I want to see Romo get some playing time. I want to make sure that he's okay, because if he's not, do you know the shadow of doubt that's cast over Jerry World? Which, like, why didn't we get Manziel? If Tony was hurt, why didn't we get Manziel? That's all you're going to hear.
Especially when you add playoff tickets to the season tickets. Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Well, that's going to do it this week for the Onside Kick. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button. Follow us on Twitter at MVP Sports Real. I'm at Ricky Widmer. Dave's too cool for school. He doesn't have a Twitter account. So
you got that right.
Go make him one if you want. Make a funny one. We'll go ahead and follow it if you do. I think Dave will make a Twitter to follow it.
Yes, that would happen.
But that's going to do it for the Onside Kick. Hit that subscribe button, like button, all that good stuff. And as always, have a good day, everybody.